And so they're going back to, how did it all begin? Where was the foundation? Basically, Mormonism has no foundation. Because if Joseph Smith was right, the church is so changed that the church couldn't be true, because they are not following their foundation. If the church is right about polygamy, then they still have no foundation, because they've just kicked out Joseph Smith. If you have no foundation, you can't be right. Either way, they're wrong, because either way, they have no foundation. If Joseph Smith is right, they're wrong. If Joseph Smith is wrong, they're wrong.
The Mormon Church had apostatized from the truth because they gave up polygamy.
Compromises were made, beginning with polygamy.
All other churches were wrong, including the LDS Church.
Yeah, the mainline Mormon Church, we just kind of looked at them like those poor deceived people, you know. They got a watered-down religion. And
the Kingstons believe and teach that the Mormon Church is wrong. They've apostatized when they gave up the doctrine of polygamy.
There have been over 100 different break-off groups of Mormonism.
Within the fundamentalists, all the different fundamentalist groups, well, there's the Peterson group, the Kingston group, the Alt-Red group, the Harmston group, the LeBaron group, oh, they're everywhere. There's a lot more of them out there than what they ever tell you in the paper, too.
So there are many groups today that claim to be the true followers of Joseph Smith. It isn't just one church. There are many different churches that claim Joseph Smith as their head.
The leader that I followed was named Ortel Kingston, and I just figured he was God's anointed. I just believed it. That's just all there was to it.
And our prophet was the only true prophet on the face of the earth.
And Roy Johnson, the leader of the group.
Jim Harmston, he claimed to have been visited by 4 angels.
Joel LeBaron, who was the prophet.
Gordon B. Hinckley.
Warren Jeffs.
John Brank.
Gerald Peterson.
The Church of the Firstborn of the Fullness of Times.
The righteous branch of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints.
The True and Living Church of Jesus Christ of Saints of the Last Days.
The LDS.
FLDS.
TLC.
Our church was the only true church on the face of the earth.
We were taught that we were the true church.
The only ones that have the truth.
And one true church.
And the only true church.
The only true church on the face of the earth.
To me, that's so amazing that the creator of the universe would say, okay, all the people in the world are going to go to hell except for this little group here.
When they first told me, because we were converted in Salt Lake, and then they said, come down to the city of God. They said, it's a beautiful city of God. So we went down there. We hadn't been in too long. Oh, my heart. It's just, I said, the only celestial kingdom here is for the rats. It was so bad. Trailers just flung in there any old way. Mud and dirt and no grass. And I stood in the streets and I said, Father in heaven, this is the city of God? Is it fear that holds women in polygamous marriages? For fear of being destroyed, like Joseph Smith said to Emma? For me it was. For me it was, because I had to strive to be an elect lady, and that was the only way I was getting there, was to be submissive to my husband. And if I wasn't, and I didn't give him the wives that he wanted, I would be destroyed and would be damned. That's absolutely taught in the fundamentalist groups. Absolutely. When you're married in the principle, every day of your life is a competition for his resources. And every day you're having to do it better than somebody else.
You really didn't have a good, solid relationship with your husband because you knew that he wasn't just yours. You couldn't build this bond with him, because if you did, you would be disappointed. He was gone. He was with other wives. There was the constant feeling of jealousy.
It's not a peaceful existence.
Behind the scenes, it's not Happyville. And there's horrible trouble between the sister wives. It is not a pleasant way to live. It's horrible.
I did not get along with any of my sister wives in any of my situations. There was a lot of jealousy.
There's so much gaming that goes on between the women.
Lying in my bed when in the very room next door he's making love to another woman is abusive. It's emotional abuse. It's torture. It's torment for a woman. Women need to feel secure.
Verlin and I had been married for 4 months when I became aware that he was courting another girl who had been a childhood friend of mine. And I couldn't believe that he was, after 4 months of being married to me, and during the time I'd seen him so little, really still didn't know him, to find that he was courting Lily I felt totally betrayed.
You've given a wife to your husband, and the first time that they go to her, it kills. I thought I was literally going to die. I was begging for death. I was just, could hardly breathe.
To see him leave you and your arms and your home, and know that he's going to another wife, or more than one other wife, is beyond difficult. It's heartbreaking.
And so those women with those big smiles on their faces have denied their true feelings. They've buried it, and they've put on a plastic facade. I'm not jealous of my sister wife. I love her. Oh, really? I just think you don't feel your feelings anymore. Denial was my drug of choice, too. For you feel like all those feelings and emotions that you have, you're taught that they are wicked and evil, and that you need to repent. If you're having those bad feelings, you need to repent. And pretty soon all your feelings are buried. No matter what happened, I just kept plugging along, kept doing my duty. You never know for sure that you have a home in heaven. There's never a day that you know. It's always work, try, hope, pray. Every day of your life's a crapshoot, because you never know that you have heaven. You never know when you've done enough.
What led me to start to question polygamy? Number one was the loneliness that I felt, the loneliness that I saw in my husband's other wives. Plus, I was angry at God, and I wanted him to explain to me why it was okay for his daughters to be lonely and without a husband, and yet how he could love his sons so much more than his daughters. I started studying the scriptures, and I decided that polygamy was my biggest issue. That's where I would start. I read in the Book of Mormon that God was very upset with them for living polygamy, called it an abomination in the sight of God.